Oh man, why does this keep happening? So you're tired of rolling your ankles all the time. Today we're going through the early stages of rehab on how to start fixing that. Now let me say this, if you just rolled your ankle and it's really swollen, before you watch this video, you need to watch this one here where I talk about the first steps. Once your ankle's not swollen anymore, then come back to this video and we'll get into it. Our body has this cool superpower called proprioception. Proprioception is your brain being able to tell where joints are in space without having to look directly at them. Anytime your brain has to think about multiple things at once, like playing basketball for example, your brain needs to have that. That way you're not constantly rolling your ankles every time you go up for a layup. But here's the thing, research shows that when you sprain your ankle, your proprioception at that joint significantly drops. And it doesn't come back unless we specifically train it to. The first way we can assist proprioception is by strengthening the musculature around the joint. Let's start with the gastroc, which is that big calf muscle that everyone sees. You'll notice I have my shoes off for all of this. Proprioception is trained most effectively when your shoes are off because that gives you less of a cushion so your body can feel directly where it is in space. This is called three-phase calf raise. You start with your ankles pointed in, knees straight. You're going up and down like this, getting a little bit of a stretch at the end. You would do 10 with your ankles in. Then you go straight forward. You would do 10 with your ankles straight forward, and then you would point your ankles out and you do 10 like that. The reason we do those three phases is to get your ankle used to being in each of those positions while still using that musculature. When you go up into that calf raise, I want the pressure to be more so on the inner part of that ball of your foot. Don't let your ankle roll out because that plays into that mechanism of rolling. Let's move on to the soleus, which is the other calf muscle that's deeper and underneath the gastroc. You get into a lunge position because that soleus is most active when your knee is bent. From here, you're doing a calf raise on the front leg, and I really want you to squeeze your calf muscle as you do it. Also, same thing here about the pressure being on that inner portion of the ball of your foot. Don't let your ankle roll out like this. You can have a hand hold like I am here. This is mainly a strengthening exercise, not a balance exercise. If you get to the point where you can do it without a hand hold and your ankle doesn't roll out, that's a great sign because your proprioception is increasing around your strength. You would do 10 to 15 reps of that soleus raise. Now let's move on to the front part of your shin, your dorsiflexors. You can put your butt and your back against a wall, your legs are out and your knees are straight. You raise your ankles on your heels. You're pushing up, trying to get your toes and your feet as high up as you can. You'll feel a burn right on the outside portion of your shin if you're doing this right. I really want you to push into that. Now, if this one's uncomfortable on your heels, you can put your shoes on, that's okay. Sometimes that really just irritates people's heels. But for me, I'm okay, so I can do this with my shoes off. But I'm pushing into it and then down. I would do 10 to 15 reps of that. The last two muscle groups we can hit at the same time. Your everters, or moving your ankle that way out, muscles are on this portion of your shin, and your inverters, or moving your ankles in, which are on this portion of your shin. Based on how you rolled your ankle, one of these motions might hurt. The most common way people roll their ankle is inversion. So if that inversion is too uncomfortable right now, don't push into that pain. Just go as far as you can before it gets painful. Here's how you do the exercise. You prop your leg out so it's on your heel and your knees straight. The ankle's doing all the work. You push your ankle down like a gas pedal. You bring your ankle in and you curl your toes without moving your leg. You'll feel this in your foot. You might feel a stretch on the outer portion down here on your ankle, and you might feel some work going all the way up on this back side of your shin here. Then from there, you go down and out as far as you can. You don't have to curl your toes on the way out. Don't let your leg roll out and do the work. It all comes from the ankle. If you're doing this one correctly, you'll really feel that on this portion of your outer shin. But you would alternate those. So down, in, curl the toes, a couple seconds, down and out. Down, in, curl the toes, down and out. You would alternate 10 to 15 total of each one on that ankle. Okay, now that we built the strength, let's move on to isolated proprioception training. Take the shoe off of whatever ankle you rolled. We're gonna be doing single leg balance in an athletic position like this. We're gonna be doing about 30 seconds to a minute. Don't look down at your ankle. You can probably see mine going a little bit back and forth. That is my stability and balance and proprioception all at work right now. So I'm building that. You would do a few sets of that of 30 seconds to a minute each. You progress that by adding something like foam or a pillow, something that creates a little bit of instability and makes it harder for that ankle's proprioception to stabilize you. But same thing, athletic stance here in that leg, and you do 30 seconds to a minute, not looking down, but your eyes are staying open, training that. 3 sets of that, and you can tell that's harder for me to do, but that's really good work for that ankle stability and proprioception. The last step of this would be to do that and close your eyes. That makes it very hard and very challenging for that ankle. I'd suggest standing near a wall where you can have something to tap down or push off of as you sway, because I guarantee you, if you've sprained your ankles a lot, it's gonna happen. But I do 30 seconds to a minute, 3 sets, and that is really training that system to make sure it's keeping you stable. So that's the early stage rehab for ankle stability. I would do that 1 to 2 times a day. It shouldn't take you longer than 10 minutes to get through all of that for a solid week. Once you've done that for a week, we've got really good work there and we're ready for that next step, which would be mid-phase training for the ankle stability. And I've got that for you right here. So if you've done this for about a week and you're ready for that next step, watch that video. I'll meet you over there.